in my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get their food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try and make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't asking for too much, I'm trying to understand my worth.
Welcome to the next episode of Give Me My Crown podcast.
Give Me My Crown podcast.
And we back at y'all with another episode of the weekly recap of college football.
Yes, we are.
So as we know, yesterday was the championship games. It was some very good games, very interesting games. And of course, we know those games shaped the college football playoffs. So first game that everybody was talking about, SEC championship, Georgia and Texas. Obviously, we know Georgia came away with the win, but Texas still gave them. I think Texas gave them a good fight because it was a close game, 22-19. But my question to you is, I know who your boy is. Do you think that game goes a different way if Arch Manning plays?
Yes. There's a lot of penalties in the game, but I think it does. Quinn Ewers has not been the same since that injury, in my opinion.
I don't think so. I think
re-injury.
Yeah,
Heisman Trophy candidate.
Yep.
But he has not been the same player, man. It is what it is. And like I said, the team was playing different with Arch, and they should have kept riding that momentum.
I agree. Another, because Texas only lost this year is to Georgia.
Correct.
They've now lost to Georgia twice. Quinn Ewers can't seem to beat Georgia. He's putting up great numbers every other game. They're one of the top scoring offenses in the nation, but against Georgia they cannot seem to score. Now that's still no downside to Texas because Texas defense is playing good also against Georgia. But as we talked about before, Georgia's defense is just different.
Who was quarterback when they played Georgia the first time?
When they played Georgia the first, they played both of them. Quinn Ewers started. They played Arch Manning. Neither one of them had a good game.
I would be interested to see Arch play a whole game, though.
It would, because it's kind of hard coming in as a backup halfway through the game when the team is already down because you can't play your game. You're trying to bring the team back.
Correct.
So I think it'll definitely be interesting to see them play.
Yeah.
Next game, Boise State UNLV. Boise State won. With the win, Boise State is going to get a bye in the college football playoffs. Again, Ashton Jeanty over 200 yards. Now he had 32 carries, but still over 200 yards.
The bye is going to do them very well to get him some rest.
Oh yeah, I think so because he definitely needs it. Because their next game ain't until what they won't play again until I think. Is it December 31st?
Yes.
Okay. Like but yeah, I think the bye is going to do him is definitely going to help him because his body needs the rest because he's taking a beating just multiple games with 25 plus carries in a row.
Yeah, I agree.
Who was Arizona State beat Iowa State, which put Arizona State in. Arizona State actually blew out Iowa State.
We talked about that. They can't score.
And I was expecting the game to be a little closer. I wasn't expecting it to be a blowout. I was expecting it to be a little closer.
I agree.
But that puts Arizona State in. SMU Clemson was a great game.
Yes, it was. It was.
I think SMU. I think the problem is that defense. I don't know what they were doing into the game, but when they gave Clemson the ball back with very little time left, Clemson in a matter of 3 or 4 plays marched downfield to kick the game-winning field goal.
That's true. I think with SMU, it's going to be interesting to see because historically SMU is not a top team.
Yes.
Can they hang with these teams? These top 12 teams, top 11 teams, yeah.
Yes, because there's only one other team in there that's in the same boat as them, and we've seen how it went last time. That's Indiana.
Yep, correct.
We've seen how it went last time when they played a top team in Ohio State, and they got beat pretty bad.
Yeah.
But I think SMU, I like their quarterback too, though.
Okay.
Quarterback is Kevin Jenkins. I think he's going to be a problem because Kevin Jennings. He's had a great season this year.
Yeah.
And he can run with the ball, which makes him a pretty bad dual threat quarterback. And then they still have Roderick Daniels at receiver, and you see he had that important touchdown last night that tied the game.
Yeah.
So I think, like you said, I think it's going to be interesting to see them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Last game was Penn State and Oregon.
Great game. Great.
It was a great game, and I think the problem was Penn State. If Penn State would have came out strong, I think the game may have been different. Penn State, as we talked about this before, Penn State is plays to their opponents. They don't just play their game.
Exactly. If they had ran the ball and stuck with it.
Yes. So it's going to be interesting to see them in the playoffs. Because they could possibly end up playing each other again. And that was a great game. And Oregon started pulling away at one point, but then Penn State started making a comeback.
Yep. I think Penn State run the ball, make Oregon's defense get tired.
Yes.
Then their defense is fresh. Because they got great defense. Great defense.
They do.
So you got to do those two things. Yep.
All right, so let's go into the matchups for the college football playoffs.
We go. Yes, sir.
So, as we know,
hold on, first. There's one thing we see about these matchups. I'm going to say, in my opinion, they finally got it right.
I think so.
Because last week I was highly pissed when I saw it.
Yeah, I think they got it right. They left Alabama out,
correct.
Which I for one do not have an issue with that. My fear was I thought they were going to kick SMU and put Alabama in, which I'm glad they did not do that.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Do you feel like any teams got snubbed, though?
I think Miami got snubbed.
Yep.
When I look at the teams that could have been in the play whose place Miami could have took, I would say Indiana. And the only reason I say that because the one good team Indiana played, they got blew out. So I don't think, in my opinion, I don't think Indiana belongs. But who knows? They could playoff time. They could prove us wrong. But I think Miami should have been in.
Should Miami be over top of SMU?
After yesterday, I would say no, because SMU played in the championship game. I would put Miami. I would put SMU at 10, Clemson at 12, or SMU at 10, Clemson at 11, Miami at 12.
Okay. All right.
Clemson's going to play Texas. I think that might be a good game because Clemson. The last time Clemson had a horrible game, or last time, because when Clemson played Georgia, they had a horrible game.
Yeah.
But I think Clemson has gotten it right. But I think it's going to be interesting to see who Texas decides to play at quarterback. I think at this point, I think they're going to stick with Quinn Ewers.
They are,
unless something drastic happens. But at this point, I think they'll stick with Quinn Ewers.
Clemson had a hard time running the football. And that worries me.
They did. They have to throw the football. And Texas defense is a good, as we saw yesterday, Texas defense is pretty good.
Yes, especially against the pass. Like,
yes.
You telling those ends and those linebackers, I can rush the quarterback and you always drop them back.
Yep.
It's going to be a problem.
Yep. Tennessee plays Ohio State. That's going to be a good game, I think.
That might be a great game.
Yes.
I think it's going to be a high scoring game.
I think so too.
A lot of touchdowns in this game.
I think so too, and I think that game is going to depend on who gets a 2-touchdown lead first. Yep. I think the first team that gets a 2-touchdown lead is going to win that game.
I have one request about this game.
What?
Ohio State.
What?
To Ohio State. They got 2 good running backs.
Yes.
Decide to run the ball right now.
They have to.
If you run the ball and you hit play action, you're going to score every time. But you got to be consistent with running the ball.
And because like you said, they got 2 great running backs. So you have to utilize them.
Yep.
And next game, SMU, Penn State. That's the same thing with Ohio State. They got 2 great running backs.
Yep.
Penn State has to run the ball.
I often say styles make fights, right?
Yes.
This has the potential to be a classic game.
I think so too.
And I think it could turn into a gritty game. Because SMU will play their style of football no matter who they play.
Yes.
So Penn State, to me, with their defense, SMU's offense, it's going to be a dogfight, and I'm going to love it.
I think that game is gonna be a great game.
It is, man.
Next game, Indiana Notre Dame. I want to say no. I think Notre Dame is gonna pull it out. It depends on which Notre Dame team you get, though.
They should, man. Like same philosophy. They got a good running back. They got a great tight end. Like
pound the ball,
lean on your defense. I agree.
Yep.
Indiana, like you said, the one time they played a top team, got smashed.
Yes.
So this is a prove-it game for them, really.
Yeah. Is at this point, it's like if they don't win, everybody's gonna say they shouldn't have been in the first place.
Correct. Yep.
Or at least if they don't give them a dog fight. I wouldn't even say they have to win the game. That game has to be a dog fight for them to be able to prove they belonged in the first place.
Exactly.
Team that got a bye week. Obviously, we know Oregon got one, number 1 team in the nation, undefeated.
Yep.
Georgia got one. They won the SEC. Beat Texas again.
Now, to stay on Georgia, Carson Beck got hurt.
Yes.
Does it help or hurt them?
I think it hurts them, especially depending on if he's out.
Correct.
But let's play a little devil's advocate.
Okay.
They gave them 2nd overall in the thing.
Yep.
Correct?
Yep.
Now, did they take I wonder with it what I'm gonna say. I guess this point I think you know where I'm going, but this point doesn't. The point, I guess, Carson Beck is not fully injured because we've seen him come back in the game and at least hand the ball off.
Yeah.
So we know he's going to be able to play more than likely. If he was not able to play, do you think they put him in? Do you think they put Georgia in the number 2 spot?
Yes.
You think so?
Yep.
Why do you say that?
It's Georgia.
Because the reason I say that,
I know why you say it. Go ahead.
Last year, Florida State lost. They won ACC championship, had a great season, had a like I said, won ACC championship. I think they only lost 1 game.
Yeah.
Ended the season top 4, but yet they snubbed them out of the playoffs because their quarterback got injured.
Yep.
So I think that was kind of interesting.
It won't be a top 4 seed regardless because they did win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boise State has a bye. Do you think Boise State deserves a bye?
Out of the winners,
yes,
they do.
And the Boise State. So the only top 10 team we've seen them play this year is Oregon, and it was a dogfight when they played Oregon.
It was.
So So with them, it's hard to say, hey, no, they don't belong because they played the number 1 team in the nation, and it was a dogfight.
And I said, like, I love Boise State because you know what they're gonna do. They're gonna run.
You know exactly what they're gonna do, and it's like stop it.
Yep, exactly.
So Arizona State has the other bye, and to me that's interesting because if Colorado, at the point we was talking about, if Colorado would have won out, would Colorado have had that same bye?
No.
Because they would essentially have the same record as Arizona State now if they would have won out.
How things shook out right now, so it would have been them versus Clemson. Do you think they're better? They would have been better than Clemson. So we're playing a what if game now with Colorado.
You talking about Colorado?
Yeah, it's what if they went out there in that spot.
Yes.
Or are they better than Clemson?
It depends on which Colorado team you get. I think.
For real, yeah. We playing what ifs for real.
Because I think with Colorado, I think they can hang with the best team in the nation, but I also feel like they kill themselves sometimes.
I honestly think it got better as the season went. They really did get better.
Yes.
So if they had one more year with Travis Hunter and the players come and they got down, bringing in the recruits, the transfer portal, I think they're there. Yep.
I think so.
Yep.
But it'll be interesting to see them in their
bowl game.
In their bowl game. I think that'll be interesting. So going back to what we talked about, do you still stand strong on your Heisman pick from before Ashton Jeanty?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think so too. I think he's a shoe-in for the Heisman. I seen somebody else made a great point. Because obviously top two players right now are probably going to be him and Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Travis Hunter has had a phenomenal season, hands down.
Yeah.
So that's playing on both sides of the ball, playing over 90-some% of the snaps.
Yep.
And he's having a phenomenal season. And somebody else made the point. They said if you put Ashton Jeanty on Colorado, Colorado is a top 10 team. If you take Travis Hunter, put him on Boise State is not a top 10 team.
But you're asking them to do two different things. A team is built around one player. Boise State is built around him.
Yeah, I know.
Now, you can't say the same for Colorado. You can't build a team around a corner and a wide receiver.
I agree, but I'm saying you take the players and just switch them. I'm saying you don't have to even build a team around him. But what I'm saying is,
of course,
it's a good point that was made.
Teams are built differently, though. I'm saying it ain't a good point to me. It's debatable because if they play the same position, I think it's debatable. But it's a
what I'm saying, if you take Ashton Jeanty and put him on Colorado, Colorado is instantly a national contender.
I agree, right? I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying he also has the ball in his hand 80% of offensive snaps in my eyes. Like, I'm just throwing them out there.
Yeah, I agree.
So, which means he controls the game a lot.
I agree.
Travis Hunter does not be on defense. They don't throw it to his side. He can't. It's not as impactful as it's not apples to apples. It's not apple to apple, man. It's like saying a quarterback to a linebacker.
I mean, the linebacker is the quarterback of the defense.
I know that. That's what they say. But this man is literally throwing the ball. He controls the game.
I get it.
Yeah.
Do you think? Obviously, I think Cam Ward is still in the running for Heisman. I don't think he's going to get it, but I think he's going to be a finalist.
Yeah.
What other two people do you put as a finalist? Probably Dylan Gabriel, obviously because they're winning in the record and he's playing good. Who do you give that last spot to?
Man, I'll just be honest. They're going to throw Jalen Monroe in there, maybe.
You think so?
Whoever in there is throwing you in there just for TV.
Yeah, because they got to throw somebody in there. It's going to be him. I don't think Carson Beck has not had a good enough season to even throw him as a finalist.
Not at all.
Quinn Ewers has not because he's missed a few games because of the injury.
Yep.
So I don't know if there's anybody else you can throw in there, but just based on their play.
Yeah.
But I think it's going to be interesting. The way the playoffs are set up, I like the new 12-team playoff. I think it gives it essentially puts it up for grabs because with 4 teams, a lot of times when you see who's playing who, you can kind of, all right, yeah, they're going to win. Like you kind of know who's going to win.
Yep.
With these 12 teams, it can literally be anybody because anybody can get hot at any point.
Yep.
So I definitely think it's going to be interesting to see.
Do we stay at 12 teams or do we expand again?
Huh?
Do we stay at 12 teams or does it expand again?
I think you stay at 12 teams because I think the only problem with expanding is because at 12 teams, you got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. You got 4 extra games in the season. So if you expand, that's going to be, probably 6 games.
Yep. Okay.
So I think 4 extra games is enough because I think also playing, you don't want to, because that puts them at, 16 games. So if you expand it again, you probably put them at 17, 18 games, which is more wear and tear on their body right before they go to the NFL.
Okay, gotcha.
So I think they'll stay at the 12 teams, but I do think they got it right this year.
Okay.
I do think first year of them picking 12 teams, I don't think there's a couple people say they should there will be a couple people say they should have put Alabama in, but I think they got the selection right, and I was scared because I didn't know what was going to happen, but. I think they made a great choice with the teams that they got in. I like the format. If you win your Southern Conference Power 5 conference championships, you get an automatic bid because that's big.
But speaking of that, one team will never ever get a bid bye.
Who?
Notre Dame.
Oh, that's true.
So,
but
yeah,
that's a blessing and a curse, though.
No, I'm saying, like, hypothetically, let's say they stack their schedule, have 5, powerhouse teams in their schedule, beat them all, still no bye.
Yeah, they're going to end the season number 1 in the nation with no bye.
Yeah, no bye.
But I think that is a blessing and a curse for them because if they're on the brink, they don't have to worry about losing and getting kicked out.
That's true. Yeah.
So if they finish every season in the top 10, they will be in.
That's very true. Yeah.
Because like I said, they don't have the fear of being right there on the cusp, not 8, 9, 10, losing and then getting kicked out.
Yeah.
So I think that helps them out a lot. Anything else we missing about with college football?
No, man. I'm just excited for it, man. I'm excited for these, especially the first round. I think the first round is going to make the matchups for the quarterfinals crazy.
Yes. First round is going to be interesting.
It is, man.
It's going to be a lot of good games.
Especially that 8-9, Tennessee, Ohio State. That's going to be that's the one I'm looking at. Because in theory, we assume Notre Dame is going to be Indiana. Penn State should be SMU. These are things.
I don't know, though.
I'm just saying this is what we think.
Yeah.
But you can't really say for that Ohio State Tennessee matchup.
Yeah, I think that game is going to be too close to call. Yeah. Like I said, I think somebody's going to have to get hot. But I think whoever goes up by if one of those teams goes up by 2 touchdowns, game over.
And we see,
in my opinion,
like I'm looking at matchups with that. We see how Ohio State played against Oregon.
Yes,
that was an epic game.
Yes,
we know Tennessee can light it up. So
yeah. I think I think Texas is gonna beat Clemson with no issue.
No,
that I was just about to come back around and say that I was gonna say, but it depends because Clemson can get hot when they want to.
Yes.
And Quinn Ewers can be kind of iffy sometimes.
Correct.
So I think it'll be interesting. I think if Texas comes out running and gunning, I think they'll be good.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting. So December 21st is when all those games happen. So we will definitely. So we'll take a week off, obviously. We'll be back in 2 weeks after this first round to give a recap and give our predictions for the next round. So in this first round, my predictions are Texas, Ohio State, Penn State, Notre Dame.
No, I agree with all 4 of those.
Okay. Which game do you think is going to be the closest? Or Ohio State, Tennessee?
The way Texas is playing right now, it might be that Clemson-Texas game.
So I think Tennessee, Ohio State might be the closest. If there's an upset game, I think it's going to be SMU over Penn State.
We agreeing too much right now. We gotta stop it. We gotta stop it, man. I don't have faith in Indiana right now. I don't. So
no, yeah. I think Notre Dame is going to beat Indiana with no problem.
Yeah.
But like I said, we'll be back after the first round of the playoffs. Kind of give y'all an update, recap of then. For right now, as we always say, this is more than a podcast. We handing out crowns.
Hand them out.
Who the lover, who the hate? Who the realest in my circle? Who the one who be the snakes? Who gon' fold up under pressure? Who gon' understand the stakes? Who gon' wait to get they food to try to take from off my plate? Who the love? Who gon' understand I'm hurt? Who gon' love me unconditionally and try to make it work? Who gon' party once I'm gone and shed a tear once I'm in dirt? I ain't asking for too much, I'm trying to understand my